everybody, welcome back inside the stash. So we did a very long one of these probably a couple of days ago as you're watching these. That covered a lot of kits that we gotten in from Buyee. This is a much shorter video. I got some decals in, some of which go to the kits we talked about. Some of them are other things that are new releases that we've gotten in. And then there was an Ollie's dump that was done in terms of model kits, and we went over there and picked a couple of things up. So we're going to cover those real quick. It's going to be a much more compact, shorter video, so don't worry, you won't. I mean, obviously, when you clicked on this video, I told you how long it is, but at any rate, it's not going to be a 40-minute. So first up, the Ollie stuff. You guys know I'm not one of the big Ollie's fanboys in the terms of, like, I have to go out and buy $250 worth of kits I already have in multiples because, oh my God, they're $9. And can you believe they're $9? Guys, they're $9. And then it turns into everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and every single forum out there has to post their giant, clumps of. In fact, I bought like 55 Corvettes. Oh my God, it was the most awesome thing ever. Wasn't really. So I said I don't participate in them very often, but there were a couple of truck kits in this dump, and I'm always with AMT truck kits like, I wouldn't mind having one of those. Like, I don't want to pay that much for it. And so having a couple of them, get sold off at $19 a piece was enough to get me to travel the whole whopping 2 miles over to my local Ollie's to grab them. And so I'm not gonna flip the camera around and do any goofy stuff with that because these are so big they'd end up making me move the camera around, and then with a DA, you're just gonna it's gonna cover my face. You're gonna like it. So we got the Kenworth KW123. It is the release that was done not too long ago. I'm sure this will come back within a matter of months with Coca-Cola livery attached to it. But in the meantime, so they're blowing them out for like $19 a piece. So why not? I've never been a terribly big fan of cab overs, modeling or real life. Cab overs are awful things to drive as a truck driver. I know that was a thing, and I'm just probably complaining because I'm a young truck driver. My 21 years don't count for anything, but I've had a couple of cab overs, and if I were to rank them in my favorite trucks I've ever driven, they're down in the bottom here someplace. So anyway, I also picked up the International Transtar 4300 Eagle. I have never had this kit. This is one of the old Ertl kits that obviously got reissued since then. I believe I've had the KW123, and I believe I'm trying to think what I have another cab over in my collection besides the car hauler. It is I have one of the Freightliner cab overs, and I believe at one time or another I built both those kits as kids. Both those kits as a kid, not both kits as a kid, or kids. Both kids as a kid, haha. But I never really particularly cared for them, probably because I was like 12 years old, and truck kits, especially from the AMT in the 1970s, are a study in patience, if nothing else. And so, building skills, 275 parts, trucks, things that have to be aligned square in order to make sure that they're going to build. Yeah, it's not something a 12-year-old does. So taking another whack at them, I guess, as an adult. We'll see how that works out. So decal-wise, I picked a couple things up off of Media Mix. Media Mix out of Singapore seems to have one of everything ever made in stock at all times, and I don't know how they managed to pull that off. Obviously, stuff does go out of stock. I've watched that happen with things that I've like, oh, I'm going to buy that someday, and then I don't actually do it. So first up is this set of Studio 27 decals from a few years ago. They are cartograph printed ones, and they are for the Newman Porsche 956. You may recall in that big long video we got this kit in. It's one of those kits, trying to not get so much glare. There we go. One of those original kits that Tamiya did in the 956 series that has never been reissued, so there's no version of it that has better decals. They're all from 1985, so new decals for that. And then also, because it was in stock, and why not, I picked up the Brunn Racing Warsteiner decals for the 1984 24 Hours of Le Mans. This will be your 4th place finishing car in 1984. And it's a pretty simple graphics package. All the gold is decals. You can probably get that just as you look at the ABCs that are pointing out the gold striping package, as you can see here. And right now I don't actually have a kit to put these on based on the kits that I have, but I've been managed to find 956 kits for pretty cheap prices, so I'll grab one soon one of these days. I got to take a look at the real car and see if it has the BBS rear wheels, because if it does, then I know what kit to buy. Otherwise, I could just buy any of them. Racing Decals 43, our friend Diego has released a new set of decals for another one of the GTD cars that runs at IMSA, and this is going to be the. Let me try to get it. This one's bigger. Try to get less reflections. There we go. This is the Turner Motorsports car that was raced at the 12 Hours of Sebring this year. So this is a 2019 season car. I've already seen a few people build this up as far as who got early release versions of these decals. I could probably do that if I actually built enough model kits. That some people believe that if they sent me the decals, I'd build a model fast enough for them to care. But at any rate, these decals fit awesomely straight off this sheet. Diego did a great job in getting them to, like I said, fit without having a whole bunch of cutting or trimming being done. And if you're into the Turner Motorsports cars, like you built one of the Z4s, or you built the Liquid Moly one from last year's 24 Hours of Daytona, another decal sheet for that. I also believe Diego is going to be doing the other Liquid Moly car that ran this year, another white car, and actually won the Petite Le Mans this year. So pretty sure he'll be getting out a set of those decals soon. Actually, he has a number of sets of decals that he's going to be doing over the next basically year. And I think you guys will be happy with pretty much all of it, as far as I can tell. And then we have 3 new sheets of decals out of SK Decals. We'll put them in the correct order here as far as the numbering goes. And these are going to all fit on Liberty Walk R35 kits from Aoshima. So these are those, of course, those big over-fendered kits that were done. Now, there were 5 of those kits done, and you might think after that, how many more do you need? Well, it turns out you may need 3 more. I really wasn't very... When Frankie approached me with this idea, I was like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm, race car guy. This isn't going to really impress me that much. But then after seeing, get worked on and sharing ideas, and yeah, I ended up buying all 3 sets of these decals, and now I'm going to have to build them. So we'll see. So first up, you have a set of decals for the Type 2 car. Now, this would be the 2017 or newer updated kit. This would be the kit that has the sort of copper paint job on the box art, or the Advan kit on the box art. Either one of those will build for this. This is what is known as the GT3 style. So it's sort of a Nissan inspired GT3 livery. Looks very much like one of the GT3 cars that runs in the Super GT series. So this set is out. Let's flip it around and give you an idea what it looks like as far as those side panels being like one big old chunk. It has the cuts in them right here and right here for fitting around the fender vents. But this should be a great set. All of Frankie's decals always are. Gives you a whole bunch of pinstriping down here, just in case you need to patch any of the decals. Then we have the next one, which is a version 2. Now, the version 2 kit is the car with sort of the pale blue, off-white, however you want to think of it, car that has the ducktail spoiler in it and the non-GT. It has like what really amounts to a non-GT3 spoiler, and this is known as the Zero Fighter. Now, these are real cars, by the way, guys. So these are real one-to-one cars that these decals are based off. They're not just like something you just decided to make. This car is very cool in the sense that the car is like a flat olive drab or a flat sort of military brown color, and then obviously has the decals thrown on here. It's a much smaller sheet of decals. Try to show through. There we go. So those that option is there. And then the one that I really think is cool, and the reason why I started buying these in the first place, is another one for the Type 2. So this is another one for the copper box art, or the Advan kit is what is known as the JPS style. So this one is again another real life one-to-one GTR, and this one has a Johnny Player special sort of graphics package to it. It's very, very cool. And while I'm not gonna take these out so you can see that these decals are like gold, they're not just like brown, a metallic brown or a metallic yellow. They're actually a gold, and they're very, very nicely done. And it's a I'm sorry, there's cats falling down in the background. But they're very, very cool in the sense of being a nice gold rather than them, like I said, being an off color. A lot of times you see people say, "Oh, I'm going to print a decal in gold," and you get a weird metallic brown that is not gold at all. And there is again some spare pinstriping down here at the bottom to patch things in case you tear one. So, uh, those are very cool. All of them very cool. Like I said, I was not so much on board with these. I mean, it's his company; he can do whatever he wants to with it. But and he was getting kind of bored with nothing but GT3 cars. I could never achieve that myself, but I certainly understand it. And so he's like, I'm thinking about doing some Liberty Walk decals. I'm like, okay, yeah. So like I said, as time went on, as I started seeing these come together and what he was going to do with them, yeah. So I ended up with a need to acquire these. What I said, I'm a sucker for good decals, no matter what they go on, really. So anyway, guys, like I said, it was going to be a short one. That's it, nothing else. And we'll see you guys on the other side.